Welcome to MSA-U Care and Use program for the MSA G1 SCBA. This program is a supplement to, not a substitute for, the documentation that came with your product. Thoroughly read all the documentation, including all warnings, cautions, and notices before using your product. The G1 SCBA from MSA is a pressure demand, self-contained breathing apparatus certified to NFPA standards 1981 and 1982 and by the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health for use in atmospheres immediately dangerous to life or health. The G1 SCBA consists of the following components: the G1 facepiece, the G1 regulator, also known as a second stage regulator or mask-mounted regulator, the G1 heads-up display or HUD, part of both the facepiece and regulator, the G1 pressure reducer with low pressure warning device, the G1 control module, the G1 power module, the G1 speaker module, cylinder and valve assembly, and G1 carrier and harness assembly. Thoroughly inspect this SCBA upon receipt daily, before and after use, and after cleaning and disinfecting. If any part of the SCBA does not pass inspection, do not use the SCBA and return it to an MSA C.A.R.E certified repair technician. Inspect all straps, including shoulder pads, pull straps, lumbar pad, waist straps, and facepiece head harness for tears, cuts, wear, abrasions, missing buckles, or straps. To begin facepiece inspection, check the lens for cracks, scratches, deformation, and color change. Check the facepiece rubber for tight seal and secure lens ring fit. The exhalation valve should be clean and operate easily. The valve must move off the seat and return when released. Inspect the facepiece inlet for damage, making sure that the inhalation valve is in place. Inspect the nose cup. The check valve should be in place and the nose cup should be secured to the component housing. Check that the regulator is free of moisture and debris, especially inside of the regulator and in the microphone ports. Ensure that the O-ring and seal ring are free of debris and are not damaged or missing. If the SCBA is equipped with a quick connect pressure hose, inspect the rubber washer for deterioration, dirt, cracks, tears, or tackiness. Inspect the quick connect fittings. Openings should be clear of debris or contaminants. Ensure that the quick connect fittings operate properly and fit securely. To inspect the pressure reducer with a threaded connection, unthread the hand wheel coupling nut from the cylinder valve and inspect the coupling nut for thread damage. Make sure that the O-ring is present and undamaged, and if it is missing or damaged, replace it. To inspect the pressure reducer with a quick connection, turn the quick connect counterclockwise a quarter turn, pull away from the cylinder valve to release, and check the quick connect for damage. Inspect the high pressure relief valve for damage. Make sure that the relief valve label is undamaged and that the relief valve ports do not show. If damage has occurred, remove the SCBA from service and have an MSA C.A.R.E certified repair technician replace the relief valve. Next, reattach the hand wheel to the cylinder valve. If using a threaded connection, the hand wheel coupling nut should be hand tight without using tools. If using a quick connect, push the quick connect coupling onto the adapter. Pull on the quick connect coupling to ensure proper connection. The bell must be properly aligned and screws must be tight. The bell should not be loose and should not rotate. If the bell is loose or can rotate, remove the SCBA from service. To begin cylinder and valve inspection, open the valve slightly for proper operation by turning the cylinder hand wheel. Be sure to fully close the valve. If using a locking hand wheel, you will need to pull the hand wheel away from the cylinder and turn to close the valve. Check the cylinder's hydrostatic test date found on the cylinder approval sticker, located on the cylinder neck. G1 standard carbon-wrapped cylinders and G1 Eclipse cylinders must be tested every 5 years. Make sure that the cylinder's valve needle and gauge face are clearly visible and that the gauge stem is not bent. Check that the rubber boot is present on the cylinder valve. If the boot is missing, remove from service until a new boot can be installed. If a protective cylinder cap and boot are chosen as cylinder accessories, check that the outer edges of the cap and boot are adhered to the cylinder. For a remote connect cylinder, make sure that the dovetail feature is not damaged or cracked. If damaged, remove the dovetail from service. Please see the MSA G1 SCBA instruction manual for additional information concerning hydrostatic testing and Department of Transportation inspection requirements. Perform carrier assembly inspection by first operating the cylinder band latch, making sure that it opens and closes properly, and that the cylinder is held securely. The lumbar pad should be securely attached. The power module and pressure reducer must be secured to the backplate by the lower cover. For remote connect cylinders, be sure that the dovetail feature on the lower cover is not damaged or broken. For control module inspection, check all displays for cracks and other visible damage. No buttons should be missing or damaged. The hose assembly should securely attach to the control module. The gauge's needle and gauge face should be clearly visible. Make sure that the gauge stem is not bent. The power module and battery compartment should securely attach to the backplate. Inspect the piezo emitters on both sides of the power module. Emitter covers should be clear of dirt or debris. Unlock the battery module using the battery removal tool located on the slotted buckle of the waist belt. Remove the battery from the power module. If the G1 SCBA has the solid buckle waist belt, the battery removal tool will be located under the right shoulder strap. Check the battery pack for visible damage, ensuring that the connection seal is in place and is undamaged. Make sure the battery module compartment is free from debris. If using the rechargeable battery, utilize the 6-bay battery charger to select a fully charged battery. It takes 6 hours to fully charge a rechargeable battery pack that has reached low battery alarm. When the battery is fully charged, a green light will illuminate on the charging station. Inspect the battery charger regularly to ensure the bays are dry and free of debris. Following inspection, the inspector should record his or her initials and the date. If the SCBA has passed visual inspection, conduct functional tests daily and after each use. If any part of the SCBA does not pass functional testing, don't use the SCBA and return it to an MSA C.A.R.E certified repair technician. Please note that functional checks must be conducted using a full cylinder. Before starting testing, check the cylinder valve pressure gauge to verify that the cylinder is full. Make sure that the regulator and facepiece can hold negative pressure. Close the cylinder valve and purge air from the system using the bypass knob or the regulator purge cover. Hold the facepiece against your face to create a seal. Attach regulator and inhale until the facepiece begins to collapse against the face. Hold your breath for 10 seconds. Negative pressure should be maintained and the facepiece should remain collapsed against your face for the entire 10 seconds. Don't use the SCBA if negative pressure in the facepiece cannot be maintained. Check regulator function by first pushing the release buttons on the side of the regulator so that the regulator is shut off. Check that the bypass knob is fully closed. Open the cylinder valve completely. Observe the LED display to view the sequenced pattern. After the sequence completes, corresponding system pressure will display. Open the bypass knob to ensure that air flows from the regulator. Close the bypass knob. While the unit is pressurized, inspect the regulator hose for bulging, deterioration, tears, or other visible signs of damage. If damage has occurred, remove the SCBA from service and have an MSA C.A.R.E certified repair technician replace the regulator hose. Attach the regulator to the facepiece, ensuring proper attachment by pulling on the regulator. Don the facepiece or hold the facepiece against your face to create a seal. Inhale sharply to start airflow and breathe normally. The regulator should not make any unusual sounds, including whistling, chattering, or popping. Pull the facepiece away from your face, making sure that air flows freely. Push the regulator release buttons, checking that airflow stops. Next, we'll check functionality of the control module, power module, HUD, and low pressure warning device. The Integrated Personal Alert Safety System, or PAS device, lets users monitor movement through a motion sensor. When a user remains motionless for 30 seconds, the PAS device goes into full alarm to alert those who are close by. The PAS device also monitors cylinder pressure and battery status. For SCBA with integrated PAS, make sure that all lights are visible when performing these checks. Align the control module, regulator, and SCBA as shown here. The control module should lie flat in order to check the white light that illuminates the pressure gauge. The graphical display and analog gauge should be consistent within a 5% range with cylinder pressure. Both control module reset buttons have the same function. Use one when resetting the motion alarm and the other when testing the manual alarm. Press the green reset button once. To access the control module secondary screen, which includes a temperature icon, short-range radio or Bluetooth icon, long-range radio or telemetry icon, battery icon, and time remaining calculation. If your control module includes the Integrated Thermal Imager, or ITIC, toggle to the thermal imaging screen by pressing and holding one of the green reset buttons on the control module for 3 seconds. Toggle back to the graphical pressure display by pressing and holding the reset button for 3 seconds. To verify proper function of the HUD, control module, power module, and low pressure warning device, observe the control module gauge and display when alarms sound. Perform the test using a full cylinder. Pressurize the system by opening the cylinder valve and observe the regulator LED starting sequence. Listen for the power module to sound and for the low pressure warning alarm to sound briefly. Buddy lights should flash green. Allow the control module to remain motionless for approximately 18 seconds. Listen for the power module to sound past pre-alarm tones. Verify that buddy lights flash red and that the red HUD LED flashes. Shake the control module to reset the alarm before the unit goes to full alarm. Allow the control module to remain motionless for 30 seconds until the full alarm sounds. Listen for the power module to sound the PAS full alarm. Verify that buddy lights flash red and that the HUD displays a red LED. Reset the PAS alarm by pressing the green reset button located on the left side of the control module twice within approximately 1 second. To check PAS alarm manual activation, press and hold the red alarm button on the front of the control module until the alarm activates. Listen for the power module to sound the PAS full alarm tones. Verify that buddy lights flash red and that the HUD displays a red LED. Reset the PAS alarm by pressing the green button located on the right side of the control module twice within 1 second. Disconnect the regulator from the facepiece and close the cylinder valve fully. Slowly open the regulator bypass valve or keep the purge button pressed to bleed off pressure until the control module pressure reading drops below approximately 775 psi for 2216 psi cylinders, approximately 1575 psi for 4500 psi cylinders, and approximately 1925 psi for 5500 psi cylinders. A flashing red HUD LED must display at appropriate pressure. The low pressure warning device should be an alarm. All buddy lights should flash red and the pneumatic light should illuminate. Alarm should continue until air pressure is 200 psi or less. When system pressure falls below 200 psi, turn off the control module by pressing the green reset button 2 times within 1 second. Continue to purge the system until pressure reaches 0. Close the bypass valve or release the purge button. If the low pressure warning device, control module, power module, or HUD does not function properly, the SCBA must be removed from service. To test speaker module functionality, the pass device and HUD should be powered on, and the regulator must be in the open position. To do so, pressurize the system and attach the regulator to the facepiece. Inhale sharply and begin breathing. Speak into the microphone near the regulator to ensure proper speaker module operation. Press and hold the speaker on-off button until the tone sounds and the unit turns off. The speaker module LED should be off. Press and hold the speaker module on-off button until the tone sounds and the unit turns on. If the SCBA does not function properly as described in this section, the SCBA must be removed from service and must be checked and corrected for proper operation by an MSA C.A.R.E certified repair technician before using. Before donning the SCBA, the unit must pass all visual inspections and functional tests. The cylinder should be fully pressurized and you must check the cylinder connection. The cylinder valve should seat correctly in the dovetail. If using a quick connect, check for a secure connection by pulling on the quick connect coupling. If using a remote connection with a threaded connect, check that the coupling nut is hand tight without tools. Check battery status by pressing and holding the reset button until the battery icon appears. To tag in user information, including optional SCBA configuration selections and Bluetooth radio pairing identification, press and hold both reset buttons until the RFID icon appears. Position the ID tag over the RFID reader on the power module. The RFID reader is on the SCBA backplate on the user's right side. When the reading is complete, the control module will show the ID tag information and emit a beep. Loosen the shoulder straps and then the waist belt straps as far as possible. Now we're ready to don the SCBA. Slide the right arm through the right shoulder strap and the left arm through the left shoulder strap, checking for correct shoulder straps orientation. If using a chest strap, make sure that the regulator hose is on top. Bend forward slightly, resting the carrier on your back. Fasten the waist belt and pull the waist belt straps forward to tighten for a snug fit. Most SCBA weight should be carried on your hips. Attach the chest strap buckle and tighten if necessary. Stand up straight, then pull down on the shoulder strap pull tabs to tighten straps. Adjust the waist belt if necessary. If using an adjustable lumbar pad, the lumbar pad can be adjusted while wearing the SCBA. First, loosen or release the waist buckle and reach behind to find the lumbar pad. Pull the level towards you and push up or down, depending upon the adjustment needed. Release the tab and pull up or down to ensure that the lumbar pad is locked in. Tuck in the shoulder straps and waist strap ends to lie flat across your body. Grasp the regulator and push the side buttons to release the regulator from the regulator keeper. Be sure that the red bypass knob is fully closed. Reach behind and fully open the cylinder valve. Listen for hissing or popping sounds when pressurizing the system. If they occur, remove the SCBA from service and return it to an MSA C.A.R.E certified repair technician. As system pressure rises from 50 to 200 psi, both visible and audible alerts activate automatically, indicating proper SCBA function. These alerts include a brief sound from the pressure reducer low pressure warning device, a chirp from the power module and speaker module, air pressure LEDs illuminating on the HUD, and buddy lights flashing green on the power and control module. No air should flow from the regulator. Do not use the SCBA if the low pressure warning device fails to alarm, the power module fails to sound, or the buddy or HUD lights fail to illuminate. Ensure that the control module and HUD pressure indicators show a full cylinder. Check the regulator's bypass operation. Do not use the SCBA if the cylinder gauge, control module, and HUD pressure readings are not within 5% of full cylinder pressure. Grasp the red knob and turn it counterclockwise. Listen for airflow and then turn it to the off position. Listen for air leaks and watch the pressure indicators for 10 seconds. Do not use the SCBA if the pressure drops more than 100 psi in 10 seconds. If the pressure reducer warning signal fails to sound or fails to continuously sound down to pressures of 200 psi, or if the control module or HUD fails to light properly. We're ready to don the facepiece. The facepiece is carried using the neck strap in front of the chest or using the shoulder strap clip. The facepiece opening should face you. Spread the harness with both hands and position the chin into the chin cup. Pull the head straps over your head, making sure that the harness sits correctly without twisting. Adjust the facepiece and tighten the straps in order, firmly and evenly. In order to check the facepiece to face seal, perform a leak test before each use. Seal the inlet connector with the palm of your hand or by attaching the regulator. Test the seal by inhaling and holding your breath for 10 seconds. The facepiece must stay collapsed on the face. Exhale. The exhalation valve should open and release the pressure inside the facepiece. If necessary, retighten the straps and perform the test again. If the leak test fails again, the facepiece must not be used. Let's move on to the installation of the push-to-connect regulator. Grasp the regulator and push inward to insert it into the facepiece. If properly aligned, the bypass knob will show on the right side of the facepiece. Check proper engagement by pulling on the regulator to ensure that the regulator is securely attached to the facepiece. Inhale sharply to start the airflow, checking the bypass again by turning the red knob counterclockwise until you feel increased airflow. Then close the bypass. Do not use the SCBA if there is no continuous flow of air when the bypass knob is opened. Tests demonstrated in this video must be performed every time a user enters a hazardous atmosphere. If the SCBA passes all tests, it is ready for use. When you're ready to remove the SCBA, grasp the regulator buttons, push the release buttons and pull the regulator out of the facepiece. Fully close the cylinder valve, open the regulator bypass or press the purge button to release system pressure. When pressure falls below 200 psi, turn off the control module by pressing the green reset button twice within 1 second. The HUD and speaker module will automatically shut off within 60 seconds after the control module has been shut off. A red LED will flash until the HUD turns off. Stow the regulator in the regulator keeper when it is not in use. To remove the carrier and harness, press in on the waist belt buckle release button and disconnect the chest strap buckle. To loosen the shoulder straps, grasp the pull tabs and push them out and away from you. Slip the right arm out of the shoulder strap first, then remove the harness. Be sure to replace the cylinder with a fully charged one. Complete the inspection. Ensure that the complete SCBA is clean and dry, and that the facepiece head harness and harness adjustment straps are fully extended. Place the complete SCBA in a storage case or a suitable storage location for easy reach. To remove the facepiece, loosen the head harness by pulling the buckles forward with your fingers. Don't grip the facepiece by the exhalation valve. Instead, grip the chin straps and pull the head harness forward over your head. Grip the front of the facepiece and pull the facepiece away and down. The G1 SCBA comes available with two emergency breathing support options: Remote Quick Fill and Extend Air 2. The Remote Quick Fill system is a high-pressure TRANSFILL system that includes an additional UAC fitting. For SCBA with 2216 or 4500 PSI systems, either the RIC UAC fitting or the Remote Quick Fill UAC fitting can be used for the filling and transfilling operations. SCBA with a 5500 PSI operating system will not transfill. Connect the transfill hose to the donor SCBA UAC fitting. Next, connect the opposite end of the transfill hose to the receiver SCBA UAC fitting to begin the transfilling operation. When the receiving SCBA has the desired amount of air, disconnect the transfill hose from the receiving SCBA and donor SCBA. The Extend Air 2 system lets two users connect and share intermediate pressure air as an emergency breathing support system. The Extend Air 2 system includes a manifold, hose assembly, and pouch. To operate the emergency breathing support system, first remove the manifold from the pouch and remove the dust cap. Connect the donor and receiver manifold blocks with a single action using the male and female Quick Connect fittings. To disengage, disconnect the Quick Connect fittings and reinstall the dust caps. The G1 facepiece was designed to be multifunctional on the fire ground, providing additional respiratory solutions including APR, PAPR, and SAR. The G1 single and twin APR adapters are designed with similar functionality to the G1 SCBA regulator. To connect to the G1 facepiece, push to connect. To disengage, push the release button and pull the adapter out of the facepiece. The G1 single APR adapter can be used for connection with 40mm threads for particulate respiratory canisters, CBRN canisters, G1 CBRN PAPR, and Optimair TL PAPR. The G1 twin APR adapter can be used for particulate respiratory protection using cartridges with bayonet-style fittings. The G1 Premier Cadet Escape System seamlessly connects to the G1 facepiece using the G1 regulator. The G1 Rescue Air 2 and G1 RIT systems provide rapid intervention teams and firefighters with emergency breathing air. Confidence Plus 2 cleaning solution from MSA is recommended to clean your SCBA, as it cleans, disinfects, and will not deteriorate rubber, plastic, glass, or metal parts. Don't use alcohol as it may deteriorate rubber parts. If the SCBA is heavily soiled, clean with a mild soap solution and a damp sponge or soft bristle brush. Inspect the entire SCBA as it is reassembled. If the G1 has serviceable tunnel shoulder straps, they can be removed along with the other soft goods for laundering. G1 soft goods kits are available as a second set of soft goods to reduce out-of-service time and extend the life of your SCBA's soft goods components. Inspect the entire SCBA as it is reassembled. Remove the regulator from the facepiece before cleaning. The head harness can be left on or removed for separate cleaning. To clean and disinfect manually, mix a solution of Confidence Plus 2. Do not use cleaning products containing hydrocarbons or solvents. Submerge the facepiece for a minimum of 30 seconds, using a soft brush or sponge for soiled areas. Rinse the facepiece and components in clean, warm, 110°F water, preferably running and draining. Be sure to clean and rinse the pressure demand exhalation valve by pressing in on the stem with the blunt object and flushing it with clean water. Allow the facepiece to air dry. Operate the exhalation valve by hand to be sure it works properly. Also perform a face seal test after every cleaning, disinfection, and maintenance. Additionally, the entire SCBA system, including cylinder and facepiece, can be cleaned in a qualified SCBA washing machine using the G1 washing kit that includes caps and plugs for critical components. For more information, visit www.msafire.com.